Hey, y'all. Um, I wasn't sure if I was actually going to jump on and do this, but it's one of those things where you know things are going to happen, but you still pray they don't. And this was one of those things. I know over the past 2 days, I've had a lot of people contact me, and some were asking, "Is it true?" The whole bit, and yes, sadly, it is very, very true. But there was just so many people that almost wanted to. Um, I don't even know the words I'm trying to say. They weren't fans of the show. They weren't people that I had spoken to at all, but were suddenly contacting me because of my connection with Sid. And it was almost heartbreaking that people would do something like that because Sid was my friend, and I know a lot of people online that have watched the show that saw the final episode of the Vicious Circle podcast and all that, saw that it ended harshly and quickly. There was a lot behind the scenes that I never spoke about because when that rift happened, it was 2 months later that Sid actually got a hold of me, and it was like nothing had happened. That's when I found out he was ill, and he swore me to secrecy. And you could tell when there was good days and or good times and bad times with his fight with this, because we would talk and talk, and then he would go silent for 2 or 3 weeks and then come back again, and it was then you knew, okay, he's fighting his fight. And this last one, I the last time I spoke with him was end of June. And after that, it got quiet, and it got quiet for a long time. So I got very nervous. And sadly, the facts are here. But I think I wanted to come on one final time. I'm going to play his intro when we leave, and then it will be retired forever. So it will never be seen again after today. But I need to let people know that Sid was one of the most genuine people I have ever met. And I met a lot of people in that area where, especially even the person who introduced me to Sid, his he changed like the weather. Sid and I laughed about him so much because depending on the day is the person you got with that guy. But with Sid, you always knew exactly where you stood, good, bad, otherwise the you knew where you stood. And when he was your friend, he was 100% your friend. I know middle of last year we talked about getting together this fall because we wanted to wait till after the summer, and he wanted to go to Florida and just hang out and do stuff because he loved being in Florida. But he was the most genuine person that I know I have ever met. And I honestly believe people just need to know that about him. I know there's so many stories, and you can see, I as I got to know him, I could see why people would see those stories. But I also understood that people didn't see the whole Sid. They never I don't believe a lot of people that come up with the stories about him ever sat down for a long period of time and got to know the man, not Sid Vicious, not Psycho Sid, not Sid, just not any of those, but got to know Sid Udi like I was able to during the podcast. Because that, like I said, that guy, he knew what he wanted, and he knew the people he could count on. And if you were one of those people, you were his friend forever. And that is one thing I know I will definitely miss about him. But yeah, people, it's so heartbreaking. Even when we did a whole show on Sid rumors, and it was actually hilarious because there were some that he hadn't heard yet. But it's the fact that, like I said, people would talk with him in a convention or in a store or something like that and base their entire knowledge of Sid on that. Whereas the very first time I met Sid, I loaded up a picture because this is us when we were recording the very first episode of the Vicious Circle podcast. And in those first 4 episodes, we recorded 4 episodes that day. Again, I was listening to rumors and everything, and I could see that. But it wasn't until later on that, like I said, you got to know the man behind that. And see, to me, this will always be the Sid I remember. He had a great big pond. That's my cousin Pete. We drove down to meet him. And I hope that's what people can remember, is the man that was there, like the Sid Udi. I don't know. I guess I'm just rambling at this point, but I had to make it known. And like I said, I'm going to play this intro one more time. And this is the other heartbreaking point. We were actually talking about redoing this show. He said when he got better, we were back on track. And I was waiting for that day because the fighter he was. So this will be the last time I play this. I'm not going to delete it, but I will never play it again. So there we go. So yeah, I guess I'm wearing the shirt too. The Vicious Circle podcast. This was the intro he and I created. He picked out these spots that he wanted because they were some of his favorites. And Mike Treblecock let us use the music. Sid loved this music just because of how well it fit with who he thought he was as a wrestler and what he wanted his character to be. So here we go. Thank you for listening to this rambling. But here it is, the Vicious Circle intro. Thanks for being a friend, Sid.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
I'm the man, and the man feels no pressure. I am the man that everyone fears.
You are now entering the Vicious Circle.
You are facing a fuel-injected suicide machine!